So I realized, and from multiple comments saying, take us for a drive in this thing. I haven't done a driving video at all. I practically bought it, did a video of where I showed you guys everything about it, and then just started doing stuff. So I will do this video on, we'll do a sort of, I don't know, I don't even know where this video is going to take us, but I don't know, let's see what happens. We'll go for a drive, see how it goes. It's funny, I'm in this same spot where I filmed the first video on this car, and I come here because like there's nothing here and it's a dead end road, so hopefully you don't get bothered, I can just do what I need to do. But as soon as I turned around, there was another car coming the other way, and the guy sort of came up and he's, oh, nice car, mate, and then asked a couple of questions and then drove to the end, did a U-turn and drove straight back out. So I'm assuming he came here to dump some rubbish, so I sort of foiled his plan there. Sorry, mate. So as you can see, it's got a lot of pep. It's a very quick car. People may think I've had a lot of like fast cars in my life, but I actually haven't. The most powerful car I've ever owned is the Zafiro. That made 320, like at its like peak power that it ever made, when that engine was really healthy and that thing flew. That is the fastest car I've ever owned. It actually is on par, like identical power to this, like 320, 330 kilowatt, whatever it is. And if you're a Commodore guy, like the 300 kilowatt mark is just a head cam LS1, LS2 sort of power. But what I've found Commodore guys don't really realize is a Commodore that is a big heavy boat that makes so much power. Look, it's quick, you know, a VY, VZ, even a VE, they're a bit bigger, making around the 300 kilowatt mark is a 12-second car. Like probably a mid 12 in a heavy car like that. But the 300, low 300s in like a Jap car that's only weighing 1400-ish kilos is like a high 11-second car. It's a big difference. So I eventually want to race this. It'll be just because I want to know, not to, you know, make this a drag car or anything, but I just want to, you know, it's auto, it's easy. You just go and you floor it in a straight line and you're probably not going to have any issues. So I'd love to go to Calder and see what this car runs. I actually looked it up. It weighs around the 15 or 1600 kilo mark, which is, it's about the same as like a base model Falcon or Commodore, like an executive, like not a Calais or a G6E. They're even a bit more, they're like 1800. So think of it being sort of in between a Skyline and a Commodore and Falcon size. It's sort of in between there, give or take a couple of 100 kilos. So I reckon at the 300, like low 300s, like the dyno sheet for this car says 320, I think it was 3 kilowatt at 23 pound on E85. I don't reckon this car will run an 11-second pass. Look, actually, I don't even reckon this makes that power. Like obviously every dyno is different, but from just going from other cars I've owned, and even the VN I can compare it to, I reckon it makes maybe 300, maybe a bit less, like high 200s, 280, 290. But I reckon this car, very low 12. Mate, if I snuck this into an 11-second pass, oh my God, that would be amazing. Because if you remember Gerald's R33, a bit lighter but manual and a bit more power, like made mid to sort of higher 300, 370, something like that. That ran an 11.8, but manual, so hard to get off the line. So I reckon with the right tyre, if I can just tramp this thing off the line that doesn't wheel spin or nothing and literally just floor it in a straight line where it's that simple, I reckon this car might even sneak into an 11-second pass. But, oh my God. I gotta say, with, so this, I don't know if you remember, this has a standard auto in it, which is an A3, what is it, A340 or A380? One of those is a transmission and one of them is a plane. I can't remember which one, which way around it is, but anyway. They're actually pretty good. So Troy was telling me, you know, these can handle decent power. It's got an MV Automatics valve body in it, so it shifts really hard, and it's all run through the Haltech, so, you know, it's been tuned to shift how it shifts, and Actually drives really good. It's got a bit of a blip on the shift, but I don't know if that's in the tune or it's in the, because it shifts hard, your sort of foot jolts on the accelerator pedal, and because it's drive-by-wire, it's actually pretty sensitive, so I actually don't even know which one it is. I would actually love to get this car on a dyno. I don't know who. Do I take it to Frank? Do I take it to check it? I don't know who I take this sort of car to. Just to give it a check over. I need to get these oil pressure and oil temp gauges working. One of my mates actually plugged his laptop into the Haltech just because he wanted to, you know, have a bit of a look around, see what it's like in there. There was a few things he didn't like, and then relayed the information to me. There's a lot of safeties turned off. So through the Haltech you can set a lot of safeties, like, I know, just as an example, oil pressure. If oil pressure drops below a certain amount, you set it yourself. It'll go into a limp mode. Same with, you know, oil temp, water temp, boost spikes, stuff like that. You can set it to sort of do what you want it to do. A lot of those are turned off, which is, I don't know why you would do that, but I would like those turned back on, because the whole point of an aftermarket ECU is tunability and safety. So I would love to do that. And also, I was just curious, I asked him, can you see what the rev limiter is set at? Holy moly. So the rev limiter on this car is set at 8,600 RPM, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is a stock motor at the end of the day with valve springs and cams. So I would love to turn that down a bit, maybe 8 grand, something like that. The tacho in this thing only goes to 8 grand. So I don't know why it's set so high. Can a stock 1J handle that sort of RPM? The auto shifts itself before then, so I don't know why the limiter is set that high. It's a bit, sounds ridiculous. As in my brain it sounds ridiculous. In RPM wise it'd probably sound amazing, but it'd probably shoot a rod out the block at that sort of RPM, I'd imagine. So turning that down would be very good. I've got to say, when I saw this car, when I was looking at it, I saw that it had a G30 660, which is actually a really small turbo. Like, that's more suited to probably a 2 litre, like SR20, RB20, stuff like that. It's on the very, very small side for a 2.5 litre. Like, if I was doing one, I probably would have put a G35 900, like something like that. But driving it, I'm going to imagine this guy did his research, so, you know, and a workshop did this car, so they probably did their research and probably knows what's going on more than me. So paired with this auto and the diff gears, this drives absolutely perfect. Like, I'm talking about, if you're on the freeway, top gear, even if you're in overdrive and you plan it, it just drops 1 gear and, oh my god, it is instantly into its, you know, 20 plus pounder boost. Like, it's crazy. Even just like right now, I was just stuck behind a few cars and they turned and I took off. It's so responsive. It's got a standard converter in it, so it's not like it comes up really big on the RPM when it drops a gear or you put a bit of load on it. It's just everything that this car has got really, really works well together. So I'm a bit torn, because I thought maybe I want to go a bit bigger, but it really works. I'm like, do I want to go high mount? You know, make it just simpler, easier to work on and stuff like that. But I don't know, this G30 660 is, oh, it's amazing. And an E85, like, this thing drives like stock, or I'd imagine. I haven't driven a stock one, so, but, and it actually really pulls you back in the seat. There's a really, really like rustic Tirana, LH Tirana hatch, LH, LX, that front hatch just went past me in Werribee South, and that was very, very cool to see it out driving, like mismatched panels and shit like that. I've always been with my cars like really simplistic, like, if you know how people like really fine tune suspension and, you know, valve settings and dampers and all that stuff with their cars. I've never been sort of that serious into it that I delve into that, where I see as, I don't know, coilovers are coilovers, you know, they're a stiffer, more adjustable way to just put suspension in a car. That's how it's always been to me. And I've never spent big money on coilovers or suspension in general. I've always gone the real basic route. Like, if I'm buying brand new stuff, it's, if I can find a good secondhand Jap brand, I'll throw them in, or, you know, brand new. I've bought a couple of sets of BCs over the years, and, you know, they're really good. They're a bit stiff. Having this car, this is the first car I've ever had that's got like a more upmarket set of coilovers. Like, it's got a set of Shockworks in it, where when you order these coilovers, they're not an off-the-shelf thing. You tell them like intended use for the car, tire size, you know, power, even tire, you know, all that sort of information. It's the same when you're ordering like a converter, and they build the coilover to suit your application. So pretty much with Shockworks, you're 99% of the time you're getting a custom built coilover, nothing off the shelf. So, and I have to say, like, I'm driving around Werribee South at the moment. If you know Werribee South, it's a farm area that does not have the best roads, and this thing drives like it's on a cloud. And for a car with coilovers in it, that's amazing. Obviously, it's a bit stiffer than you'd imagine, but it is definitely not on the same par with any other coilover I've ever had. So they are well worth the money. Now these, I know I've ordered Shockworks for mates' cars before when I used to work at PP, and they're double the price what I've ever paid for a set of coilovers personally, but I can tell you now, they're well worth it. Like, even in my area where my house is in the estate, there's a lot of speed bumps. I drive over these things like I'm driving my daily driver. You just drive over them normal, no problems, no scrapes, no, you know, banging the guards or anything like that. This thing drives absolutely perfect. So if there's anything I can give to you from this video, it's that you should go buy some Shockworks coilovers. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned in a previous video, but this has an FT86 diff in it, so it's a very common thing to sort of do these days in JZXs and sort of this Toyota chassis, because you get the diff gears and you get an LSD out of it, and it's a bolt-in affair. But I've got to say, with this auto, these diff gears, you know, tyre size, rim size, whatever, not the best. It's probably on the too tall, high side, however you would word it, because I got 4 ones. Probably your like 3, 5, 3 7s, even 3 9s is probably a better bet with this auto, because on the freeway this sits at 3,300 doing 100 k's an hour, which is, like, if you're doing a proper drive, like an hour or so on the freeway, it's a lot. Like, it's going to guzzle fuel, and I don't know, it just feels wrong. I don't know how to, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it's probably actually perfection with a manual, but this car being auto, it's a bit hairy. But and speaking of the whole manual auto thing, I've been pondering over the last few weeks what to do with this car, like as in driveline wise. So when I saw this car, I always thought, yeah, bang, I'll buy it. Who cares if it's auto? I'll manual it. Like, no problems. You can still buy R154s brand new from Toyota, so no problems there. You know, clutch, use all JZX stuff, the pedal, master cylinder slate, all that stuff. It's very, very simple. Even console you can leave. You just pop out the sort of park reverse neutral section, and with a manual it actually fits in that same spot, and you can shift gears with no issues, and you just put a boot. So actually really easy to do. But then Troy got in my ear, and then I started looking at, I don't know if you guys have heard that a lot of people are doing 8 HP transmission swaps lately. It's sort of like the new thing to do, where it's like the BMW 8-speed auto, and you can run them like through the Haltech with paddles. They're obviously an 8-speed, and you can run them full auto, full manual. There's even a few companies, I think it's 8speed.com is doing a clutch pedal for them, where I don't even know how that works. I haven't looked into it yet, but I don't know, that's another cool route. Like, I know Jay Duca did one into his Odyssey with the JZ in it, and he, you know, swears by it, saying that it's the most amazing thing he's ever done. And this car actually has the up and downs on the steering wheel here. I don't know if you can see it behind here, and the downs are on the front, and I can run it through that, and it actually would drive amazing. Like an 8-speed auto would be bloody crazy in this car. But I've watched a few videos on YouTube about cars that have done the 8-speed auto, but with the clutch pedal. it's still in my head where I'm like, I don't even understand how this works. I'm actually going to pull over here. It doesn't, it's not like a full manual. It's not what you used to, you know what I mean, anyway. And I'm like, I think I still want to go down the proper manual route. And I don't know, give your opinions down below what you reckon. Either leave it as it is and just drive it, because it actually drives really good. 8 HP, you know, it's cool, but it's a lot of money, it's a lot of tech. I'm not sort of into the tech stuff. I like the real basic shit, which is like why I'm sort of more torn towards the manual. But I don't know, it's sort of cool with the 8 HP. I don't know, I'm sort of up in the air. What would you guys do? I actually think the 8 HP and the manual swap, like if you go with a brand new box from Toyota, they're probably gonna work out the same. Like if you're buying a decent clutch at 2 to 3 grand, the box is 3 grand, I reckon you're gonna be pushing the 8 maybe mark to manual swap this car, which I reckon is gonna be the same shit if you probably do an 8 HP. So, or you leave it as it is and you just drive it and save 8 grand and put 8 grand into something else. But the whole point of these videos is to do stuff. So, and I'm keen to work on this car. Actually, it's not that stock where I want to keep it stock, so it's that modified where I'm happy to keep modifying stuff. And it's not like it's a rare car or anything, so happy to, you know, tinker and change things. So it'd be good to hear what you guys think. I don't know, I'm very torn on what path to take in regards to that. But if you've been watching these videos for a very long time, you'll know that if you're a local to where I am, you'll know a lot of the roads that I drive. So I'm in Werribee South. There's a sort of good little stretch where I might chuck the GoPro on either the engine bay or the back, so you can get some exhaust noises and some intake noises now that I've taken the blow-off valve off. So I'm gonna sort of do a U-ey here and we'll set up some cameras and see how we go. Alright, so I got a GoPro in the engine bay. The plan was to suction cup it in there, but I realise I'm using the suction cup to have you on the window here. So I've just sat the GoPro and jammed it in somewhere in the engine bay, so hopefully it survives, because it's not very secure. Slow down a bit because there's a car in front of me, so we can't sort of give it a bit through the back roads here. But and being auto, you know, obviously it's not going to be like the Evo and stuff out here, so take it a bit easy. I don't want to end up in someone's cabbage patch here and Werribee South, to be honest. Super loud, like it's, you know, nice to drive. It's not droney or anything. It's got a really good flutter to it now that I got rid of the blow-off valve. It's got that Golby's intake on it. You can see it breaks traction very easily. Very fast car, I gotta be honest. It's grouse. Actually feels a lot faster than a manual being auto. It just, I don't know, they load up different and it just drives really different where they feel a lot faster. Now I'm stuck behind a van. Logan! Killer's Logan. You'll know Logan from his all-wheel drive S13, his all-wheel drive S15, his GSR. What else have we done? videos on. I really want to go do a video on his Ferrari, and he actually just ordered me something from Haltech, so it might be a good excuse to go pick that up when it's there and do a video on his Ferrari that he bought. Very good car. Goes really, really good. You know what's the only thing it doesn't have that I actually can't believe this car doesn't have, because it's got, you know, electric everything, it's like the top of the range model, blah blah blah. It doesn't have cruise control. So that might be something I want to implement through the Haltech, because you can do that, and it's got drive-by-wire, so should be a simple thing to sort of mess with. I don't know if it's something Troy could do, that would be good, so I don't have to pay someone to do it, because I've got no idea. I actually should probably download the Haltech software so that I can plug into this car and sort of snoop around, you know, not touch anything major and, you know, make it worse, but just so I can sort of learn. You know, I've never had a car with a standalone ECU like this. The only car I've had with tunes, stock ECU. So the VN was stock ECU. The Zafiro was even stock ECU. It just had a NIS tune chip in it. So this is the first car I've had with a standalone ECU in it. So it would be good to sort of, you know, mess around with the Haltech software. Just look, you know, ponder around, learn. Nothing wrong with learning. So yeah, I'm gonna pull over here, get my GoPro back out of the engine bay. Hopefully it's still there and I don't have to drive like 15 minutes back into Werribee South to try and find it. But yeah. Safe and sound, just in case anyone was wondering. But yeah, let me know, what do you think of how this car sounds, how it drives, my plans. Love a bit of dialogue in the comments. As always, I try really hard to reply to every single comment, whether it's positive or negative. And surprisingly, with this car, it's been like 99% positive. There's been a couple of dipshit comments, but everyone's been pretty on board with this car, which is cool. Not that I care, but you know, it makes it a lot better if everyone likes the car that I'm doing videos on. So yeah, let me know down below, guys, and I will see you in the next one.